Hey everyone, Shabby here and welcome to the very first show in our SWE World Cup of Wrestling. This one is going to be the United States of America, USA for short of course, versus Europe. It's going to be a cracking one this is tonight and a great way to start things off. And talking about starting things off with a bang, this is our first match. Seth Rollins takes on Rusev. So of course, with the European one, I did mention this in the little introduction video. Essentially, it was the guys that that I wanted to have in this competition that didn't really fit anywhere else, and we weren't going to get free Bulgarians, we weren't going to get free Dutch, we weren't going to get free Swiss, but to utilise them as the rest of Europe, I think was a better idea, because it makes sense to have these sort of guys in there. Of course, it's not Europe in general, because there are several countries in the competition that are in Europe, so this is just the people that didn't fit into any of the other ones necessarily. I'm babbling already, aren't I? So, of course, if you haven't watched the introduction video as well, the way the scoring system works, now I'm going to try and do this correctly, right? So there's 3 singles matches in each episode, and 1 6-man tag to finish it off. Each of the 3 singles matches is worth 1 point, and the 6-man tag is worth 2 points. Essentially, win or lose the episode, you take all your points back into your group standing. So, for example, if you win 3-2, you get 3 points, and your opponent gets 2 points. If you win 4-1, you get 4 points, your opponent gets 1. If you win 5-0, you get 5, your opponent gets 0. So at the end of the day, it's not down to who wins the individual night, apart from, obviously, the bragging rights. It's all about getting more points than the other 4 teams in the group. So you could effectively lose each of the 4 shows and still get through, depending on results elsewhere. Because, of course, the top 2 from each group do go through. So it's an interesting way of doing it, and it does mean that one night, one big swing could really turn things around. 1 5-point swing could be a big one. And, of course, this is Group A, where you do have... So good my memory is now. This is USA... Europe, obviously, we've got tonight, and then our next episode will be New Zealand versus Scotland, which on paper sounds like a little bit of a weaker one, but when you actually look at who's involved, you've got people like Jay White, you've got Travis Banks, who's recently been announced for the UK tournament, and Bad Luck Fale, which is going to be an interesting one. We'll discuss that more in the episode. But also with Scotland, we have Drew McIntyre, Noam Dar, and I can't remember who else it was. I think it was Jack Jester. So it's 3 pretty strong guys in each side. But I do honestly feel like, in my opinion, USA will probably be the dominant one. And potentially... Yeah, I'm thinking USA to win this. And Europe to finish second in the group. But you never know. A lot will depend on this match here this evening. If this goes really strong one way or another, it could be very, very difficult for either of these 2 teams. For example, if USA was to win this one 5-0, it would really give a great opportunity for both New Zealand and Scotland to steal that second position. So I think no matter what happens, I think both these teams are going to want to make sure they get a couple of points here this evening at least. But this is their first opportunity. Seth Rollins representing the US versus Rusev representing Europe here. And straight away it's Seth in control with that Northern Light suplex. Now I will admit this is my second time attempting to record this. The first time the power went out. So I've been sat with no power for a few hours, which was pretty annoying actually. I was doing pretty well. And this is the first video I'm actually recording in my new house as well, which is actually, I've got a great setup here. I've actually managed to pull everything along to where I am. I'm actually sat on the, laying on the sofa, watching my telly doing this recording, rather than being sat at my desk all uncomfortable and bent up on the computer chair. No, I'm nicely on the sofa now. I've evolved. I'm on a higher level. Frog splash attempt there by Seth missed as Rusev gets back up to his feet. And I think I'm going to get a lot more recording done now, just because it is a lot more comfortable for me to do it. Say, just being lent up here on the sofa is just so much more comfortable than the dodgy, rickety computer chair. Means I'll be able to Google stuff as easy, like, but you never know. Rusev clubbing blow to the back of Seth now into the front chancery and a big knee to the face. This is a massive victory for either of these 2 guys, just to really get on top of things, really. You want to get the early advantage and get the momentum for your team. A win here for Europe could all of a sudden make them favourites to win the group. I do think the USA's team, though, of Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan, and AJ Styles is incredibly strong. But of course, Rusev, Cesaro, and Alistair Black are not a bad bunch at all. That's all really, are they? Very, very strong. There are some real dark horses. I think the European team is a real dark horse team in this competition. But there are a few of these, like Mexico. They're pretty strong. With Guerrero, Mysterio, and Pentagon Jr. Of course, they are in Group C, alongside Samoa, Germany, and Puerto Rico. So I think Mexico could be a real dark horse in this one. Samoa, of course, with a seeded 1 team. That's an interesting one as well. I think all these groups look pretty good, actually. They look all quite level. There's a few here and there you think could pull it out of the bag, but for me, Europe... I would be surprised if Europe and USA didn't get through, but I don't write off New Zealand. I think New Zealand are very strong as well. I feel like Scotland might struggle a little bit. I think Drew McIntyre is very good, but I think, oh, there's the ripcord knee by Seth on Rusev, and how that's not a rope break. Rusev's head is on the rope, and Rusev does kick out just about. How on earth was that not a kick? Not a rope break? Rusev now with a pin. Only a 1 count. Seth kicking out pretty easily. Rusev now taking Seth down and dropping an elbow right across his chest. Rusev just clotheslined Seth straight to the outside, and Rusev won't mind winning this one by countout. Rusev now dropping a headbutt right to the chest of Seth. Now sending Seth straight into the ring, dropping an elbow onto his head, and all of a sudden Rusev is taking control of this one. It's exactly what he needs to do. Oh, Machka kicked right to the back of the head by Rusev on Seth. Seth went down like a sack of spuds. When it's in the back of your head, you can't see it coming. You can't protect yourself, really. Rusev slamming Seth face first into the mat, and Rusev taking more and more control in this one now until Seth catches him into the flatliner. Middle of the ring. Seth now drops into the pin. Will it be enough? 1. No, it will not be enough. Simple as. Rusev now right hand in the gut of Seth. Now launching Seth across the ring. Rusev just dropping a boot in the face of Seth. And Rusev is taking more and more control here. This will be a massive win for Europe if Rusev can pull this off. Because as good as Rusev is, you'd still think that he might be the underdog in this match. As Seth gets back up to his feet, catches a right hand and a chop. And now a belly-to-belly suplex by Rusev as well. But does Rusev have enough to finish Seth off? That's the big question here. And he looks like he's going to go for the accolade. Locks it in. There it is, the camel clutch. Is that a win? No, it's not. Seth must have caught his back foot on the rope there, because the referee was telling Rusev to break that. So Seth must have got his foot on the ropes. Must have done. It's the only logical explanation. As Rusev now there's big boots into the chest of Seth. Oh my god, Alabama slam into the corner by Rusev on Seth. Fall away slam by Rusev, who's dominating this match. Seth, I think he's going to last much longer in this, is he? Rusev kicking the back of the head of Seth. Rusev bringing Seth back up, but Seth fighting Rusev away from the Ace Crusher. Now rolls him through into the super kick, right into the face of the kneeling Rusev. I tell you what, if this match is anything to go by on how good this tournament is going to be, we are in for a cracker here in the World Cup. Rusev grounded on the outside as Seth taunting away. Rusev kicking the gut now into a DDT on Seth. Or DDT by Seth, shall I say. Seth dropping a knee right in the face of Rusev as well. Stiff right hand by Seth, now into that reverse DDT. Boot in the chest of Rusev. Seth sends Rusev into the ring. Rusev back up on his feet now. Can Seth turn this one around? Seth with the buckle bomb into the corner. Wow. And it's enough as well. Seth gets the victory. What a great match for these two. Fantastic match. What a great way to start things off in this tournament, showing just how good this tournament could be if we continue on with fantastic matches of this quality. There was a ripcord knee earlier on, and I thought Rusev was going to have this one for quite some time, you know. When he locked in that accolade, I really thought this was going to be Rusev's night. That was iffy. I don't know how the referee didn't call that as a rope break, to be honest. And there was a match kick right to the back of the head of Seth. And then the Alabama slam into the turnbuckle. Fall away slam. Rusev just had so much aggression, but Seth showed incredible resilience just to last past it all, really. Absolutely stunning. But Seth gets the first point of the competition, and it goes to the US. Great start to the night for Seth, and great start to the night for the US as well. And here is our second match of the evening as AJ Styles takes on Cesaro. Europe desperate for a point now after losing that first match, but AJ Styles knows a win here could really open a massive gap in tonight's episode for them. It's exactly what he wants to happen. As a phenomenal one himself, Mr. AJ Styles makes his way to the ring. And yeah, a win here would really open a gap, but of course it wouldn't make it completely out of the question for Europe to win. But it would make it very, very difficult for them to win. Of course, there's 4 more points up for grabs here this evening. If AJ was to win this, then it would mean there'd be 3 points up for grabs, but US would be 2 up. And I think as long as Europe gets some points, I think they will be happy this evening. This was always going to be their most difficult match. And, yeah, it's just a case of getting through it, I suppose. I think that Europe should have a much better time against New Zealand and a much better time against Scotland as well. So it's more, yeah, it's more of a fight really, I think, between these guys, just to see who gets the second spot. I feel like US might have that top spot completely locked in now, you know. I just don't think they're going to be able to get anywhere near them, to be honest. US just looks so strong, but you never know. If they can turn this one around here this evening, then we could see it. You never know. Stranger things have happened. As here comes the Swiss Superman Cesaro. He's a man who does need to get this victory. Because not only that, it would really build up the momentum here this evening as well. And hopefully, hopefully for them, swing it back in their favour. Which at the moment, all the momentum is firmly in the camp of the US after that big victory by Seth. And it was a massive victory considering how even that match was and how it really could have gone either way. For Seth to walk out with that win was huge for the US, and the first win in the entire the entire tournament as well is massive for them. But of course, not everything will be won and lost here this evening. I'm sure the match between Scotland and New Zealand in a few days can be very, very interesting based on this one. But of course, if Europe can get a few points here, if they lose 3-2 or even win 3-2, then it's not out of the question. They're still very much in this one. That's why I like the whole point system the way it is, rather than just giving out points for a win and points for a draw and that sort of stuff, and this, that, and the other. This does go down to how many matches you've won the entire competition. So you could, like I said, you could lose every single episode but still come out with enough points to qualify. Of course, top 2 from each group do go through into the knockout stages. As Cesaro now bringing AJ back up to the base, and so far Cesaro has dominated the early proceedings. And of course, don't forget, we still have for you after this one, Alistair Black versus Daniel Bryan one-on-one. Before we get to our 6-man Tornado Tag Team match as well for the final 2 points of the evening. Nice reverse DDT there by AJ. AJ now drags Cesaro middle of the ring into a lion salt. And AJ is in firm control. Cesaro there fighting back with that right hand. Hook in the arms of AJ now takes him up into a powerbomb. Nice. Aggressive jackknife. AJ Styles gets himself into the corner. Cesaro, I don't know what I was looking for there. Didn't have Cesaro down as a coast-to-coast man, but he looked like he might have been going for it there for a second. Cesaro sending AJ back of the head first into the turnbuckle. Before now dropping a boot into the back of the arm as well. Cesaro brings AJ back up to his feet, boot in the guts. And looking for another powerbomb maybe? Well, buckle bomb this. Oh, wow. He buckle bombed AJ and AJ landed legs akimbo of that top rope. AJ could have busted a nut there, you know. Dangerous. The last few was a nut injury for the rest of the competition. Remember, these two guys have still got to wrestle again here this evening, as is Seth and Rusev we saw earlier on. So it's an interesting one. You want to try and win your match, but you want to try and win it easily to try and retain as much energy as you can for the main event. You don't want to nappy yourself out, I suppose, if you look at it that way. Both Seth and Rusev are going to struggle after that fantastic match they put on earlier on. They're going to be a bit tired going into that big 6-man tag later on, surely. As Cesaro once again looking for a powerbomb, but AJ able to break free, but Cesaro catches him into a German, bridges for the pin, 1. Maybe a 1 count. As Rusev just fires a few rounds. But it is Cesaro in control of AJ Styles here early on. But of course, remember, Rusev had a pretty strong time against Seth until Seth finally turned it around. So you can't say either way. It's all down to who can pull off the victory. It doesn't matter who has the strongest match, does it really, I suppose? Until you get the 3 count, that's all that matters. Cesaro wrenching back at the arm of AJ Styles. AJ there slowly gets back up to his feet. Right hand in the gut of Cesaro. Cesaro felt that one. That was hard, that wasn't. Now AJ rolls Cesaro through into the calf killer, but Cesaro was just too close to the ropes and managed to get underneath the bottom rope, forcing the referee to get the break on that from AJ. But where did AJ get that from? That just shows how the match can just spin on a sixpence there. AJ had been beaten up through most of it, but able to roll Cesaro through into the calf crusher. Cesaro now bringing AJ back up to his feet, but oh, AJ catching Cesaro with the clothesline. A boot in the head as well. Now AJ is starting to take some control in this match. AJ brings Cesaro back up and once again rolls him through into the calf crusher, but this time Cesaro stranded middle of the ring. Is he going to tap? No. He manages to elbow AJ Styles in the back and break free. AJ with the right hand right to the kidney of Cesaro. Now Styles taking Cesaro up into a powerbomb of his own, rolls it through with the bridge, entire body weight on the back of Cesaro, looking to get that free count. AJ winning Cesaro back up to his feet now. Oh, well done, ref. Well done, right in the way. But that was a phenomenal forearm. This could be 2-0 to the USA. No, Cesaro kicked out. Wow. Cesaro kicks out on the brink of 3. But AJ has more in the locker. Catches Cesaro. Up he goes. Into the Styles clash. Rolls him through. 1, 2. And it's 2-0 to USA. Wow. Again, it was a very hard-fought match. It wasn't one-sided. Both guys had great offense. But it was AJ Styles who was able to come out on top in the end. Which now makes it 2-0 to USA. I'll write that down on my notes so I don't forget. There we go. Wow, what a match this was as well. 2 fantastic matches to kick off our World Cup. And if this is anything to go by what we're going to see for the rest of the tournament, we are in for a right treat, people. So, of course, when it does come to the knockout stages, then obviously the points in the match are going to determine who goes through. But in the leagues, the points do just go onto the league. Does that make any sense? In the knockout stages, of course, most points on the evening goes through. In the league matches, then of course, most points of the evening gets the win, but the win doesn't make a lot of difference. It's all to do with the points. The more points wins. God, I'm talking a lot of crap on that. Just because I haven't had a beer yet, this is the problem. Lack of beer. And here is our final singles match of the evening. Daniel Bryan takes on Alistair Black, and the pressure's on Alistair Black here. If Daniel Bryan wins this one, then Team EU cannot get the victory. Team Europe cannot get the victory here this evening, but they can still get all important points to go into the league table. As here then comes Daniel Bryan. So far then, big wins for Seth Rollins over Rusev and Styles over Cesaro has put Team USA in firm control. And Daniel Bryan has a chance to really compound that here this evening. How good would that be if Daniel Bryan got the free count here? It would be a massive win. I can imagine that both Team New Zealand and Team Scotland are watching this back in their hotels thinking about how good this would be for them if this is a whitewash for Team USA, because that would mean that that second place position is really up for grabs between those two, and a big win either way between Scotland and New Zealand tomorrow, well not tomorrow, but in a few days time, could really give them a very strong chance of getting that second place position. But of course there's still a lot of matches left yet. If Team Europe get 2 very strong wins against New Zealand and Scotland, then all of a sudden they're back in the mix. But then again, they could still win here this evening. And I'm looking forward to this one. Alistair Black versus Daniel Bryan. 2 guys that have got absolutely lethal strikes. And very good submissions. And I think we're going to see another instant classic. We've seen 2 top quality matches already. And now we get to see another one, hopefully. Involving one of my favourite wrestlers. Well, 2 well, I don't know. I'm a massive fan of Aleister Black. I became less of a fan of Daniel Bryan as he went on, just because his moveset changed a lot. He was no longer the guy that I like to watch. It was no longer about the great technique and fantastic ability. It was all then about so the screen kept flashing in and out there for a second. It was no longer about ability and this, that and the other. It was all just about It's going to be crazy. My TV keeps cutting out, but I don't think the recording is. Is it okay now? Okay, it seems to stop doing it now. That was weird. Yeah, but for me with Daniel Bryan, I used to really like him when he first started in WWE and when he was on the indie scene as well. But then when he came in, he started to change his moveset and the whole yes movement kicked in, and I started to appreciate him less in the ring because he used to be fantastic in the ring, but now he's just sort of... he's changed. And no wonder he got himself injured, because some of the stuff he does now is just crazy. I know he was always a little bit crazy, don't get me wrong, but we sort of lost that fantastic technical submission style. He used to be the man that knew 1,000 submissions and knew the reversal to them all as well, and then he wasn't anymore. Don't get me wrong, I still like him, don't get me wrong, but I don't have as much like for him now as I used to when he first came in. I suppose he sold his soul for the WWE style, didn't he, I suppose? Anyway, hopefully you've not been having random blackouts like I have on my telly. I don't know where that's come from, to be honest. Maybe I need to check the cables in between these next two matches. But we are underway then. Daniel Bryan straight away with a German suplex on Aleister Black. And Aleister Black needs a good performance here. He needs... well, Europe needs him to get a performance here. Europe needs to pull up at least a point or two out of the bag here. Otherwise, they could get in a very, very, very troublesome situation with with New Zealand and Scotland fighting for that second position. Aleister Black out the back of that into a reverse DDT. Brings Daniel Bryan back up to his feet. Oh, running double foot stomp. Bryan then with the firm right hand into another German suplex. Daniel Bryan been watching a lot of Brock Lesnar by the looks of it. Bryan now bringing Aleister Black up to a kneeling baseline. There's the DDT flat in his face. Big elbow by Bryan. Bryan firm control. Bit of show off there by Alistair. Oh, he gets caught with his spinning forearm. Bryan now, nice German suplex on Aleister Black. And now there's a reverse Dragon Sleeper. But Bryan firm control here, and I'm worried here for Europe. I'm worried for Aleister Black. Aleister Black with the elbow in the knee, and again I'm having rolling blackouts on the screen. I don't know why. I've got a candle going a bit close to it. I wonder if it's like overheating the cable. So I don't know if that even makes sense, but I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna have to get through this match and then sort the cables out before the 6-man tag, I think. Aleister Black wrenching back at the arm. Daniel Bryan, nice single-legged drop kick. And it is going on and off, on and off, on and off a lot. I hope I don't miss anything good here. Aleister Black looking for the double foot stomp. Not enough though. Daniel Bryan taking Aleister Black down with that suplex. Now dropping a boot into the arm. As my screen goes off once again. And Daniel Bryan just turns up the knee in the back. And I think Daniel Bryan, is he back in the corner? He is. Getting ready. There it is, the running knee strike. And this could be a clean 3-0 for Team USA here. There's the pin. 1, 2, and no. Aleister Black has kicked out. But can he turn this one around? Can he survive? I think he's going to struggle here, to be honest. Bryan now launching Alistair Black. And these blackouts are getting worse and worse and worse here. I don't think it's affecting the recording though. Because I look at my computer monitor and it is still going as it was with no blackouts, but I can't use that because it's like a few seconds behind in my recording. So I have to commentate using the TV. I don't know what's going on with it. I must have left a loose cable when I was rewiring everything earlier on. There's the pin by Alistair Black, only enough for a 1 count. As I lose my screen once again, it's back. Alistair Black now up on the middle rope, dropping the elbows and the knee into the back of Bryan. And if Alistair Black had hit that black mass, all of a sudden EU could be in a much better situation here this evening. I keep calling it EU. It's not EU. Well, all the nations in here are in the EU, I suppose. Alistair Black clubbing blow to the back of the head of Bryan, now bringing Bryan back up. There's the snapmare. I am struggling here, I must admit. Bryan now back up on his feet from Alistair Black. Into a nice ace crusher. Oh, rolls it back into the Dragon Sleeper, I think. Yep, he does. Wow, and look at him get a hold of his other arm behind his back. Really wrenching at it. Both guys went for kicks, and Bryan got his kick off first and now drops the kicks across the chest. Bryan now bringing Alistair Black back up to his feet, looking for like a belly to belly, but Black fighting free. I don't even know what he did there because my screen cut out again. There's the pin. 2, what do you 2 count? Black now bringing Bryan back up. Bryan fighting back with that right arm, but then gets caught with the ace crusher. Another massive one by Alistair Black. Double foot stomp as well to Bryan. Went for the boot across the chest, but Bryan caught the leg and then dragon screws Alistair Black down. And once again, another fantastic match here. 3 great singles matches to start this tournament off. Oh, what an enziguri as well by Alistair Black. But I think he needs to consider going for this fade to black. I think that was a label lock locked in there that I missed again. Bryan up to the middle rope, stalking Alistair Black. Went for the dropkick. Black avoided it. I'm getting some screen time now. Alistair Black. Oh, it's got off again. There it is, the black mass. Wow, Alistair Black hits it. There's the pin. 1, 2. Oh, and it's a kick out. Wow. Bryan kicked out the black mass. Alistair Black continuing the assault, but what does he have in the locker to try and get this pin? Big double foot stomp. And a wow, in for another black mass, but Bryan avoided it. Alistair Black fighting back into reverse DDT. Nice knee strike right on the side of the head. Alistair Black taking control once again, but can he finish Bryan off? 1, 2, nope. Alistair Black back with the middle rope once again. Double elbows right into the chest of Bryan. Going off again. This is really difficult. Bryan. Backdrop on Alistair Black. A black drop. Bryan stalking Alistair Black once again. Locking in the label lock once again. But again, Alistair Black is too close to the ropes and Bryan is forced to break it. But he is taking control once more. Bryan with a boot straight across the chest. On a big one to the side of the head as well. Nice DDT. The bell lock locked in once again, and Bryan does get enough. Wow, what a match. This really again could have gone either way, but it does go in the favour of the US, who are now 3-0 up on the evening. But looking at the ability that both Rusev, Cesaro, and of course Black has shown here this evening, I dare say they're not going to go out of this competition without a battle. And I feel like US have had a cracking performance here this evening, but Team Europe could really come into their own in the matches against New Zealand and of course Scotland as well. There we go. Look at a 5-star match, one of the greatest of all time according to the game. Now then, it's not all over yet then. It's 3-0 to the US, but of course we still have our 6-man tag, which is still worth 2 points, so Europe could still walk out of here only 3-2 losers, which is not bad at all. And here we are then. I think I finally fixed it. I don't know how I fixed it, but I fixed it. We have got our Tornado tag team match now then. Team USA versus Team Europe. 2 more points up for grabs here this evening. Will the US make it a clean sweep, a 5-0 victory? Or will the European side be able to claw back this match? What the hell is that? What is going on? Okay, I've got no idea what just happened there. But for some reason the game just bugged out and we lost the entrances. But let's ignore that. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. What just happened? Why? Why did that break? I don't quite understand. Something to do with parental controls not allowing us to use created content? I've got no idea. That's not good though. Because our next episode is all created content. I have had this error message once before and I don't know how I got around it, to be honest. It just started working again by itself and it looks like that's going to be the case here again. I am worried though, I must admit. Bloody game. Why does this game never work properly? What sort of error message was that as well, anyway? And what, there shouldn't be any parental control. Maybe it's because I'm not on the internet. Maybe is it going a bit... Is it throwing a bit wobbly because I'm not connected to the internet? I've got no idea. But I'm not going to get the internet back for a few days yet. I'm recording this while I've got no internet. Nice there by Cesaro. Gut wrench. Of course, this is first pinfall or submission will win this match. And Europe are desperate for these 3 points. They really do need them. Or 2 points, should I say. It wouldn't make it too bad. If Europe win this one, they lose the match. They lose the night 3-2. It would not be that bad at all for them, in fairness. Only 1 point down on the US with the two easier matches against New Zealand and Scotland left, you'd think that Europe and would fancy their chances of getting that second place. It would definitely be in their hands anyway. They could even get the first place depending on what happens in some of the other matches with the US as well. US will feel pretty strong in some of these matches. But so far, US have whitewashed their biggest competition in Group A, which of course is this European side. But it's not all over yet. Seth, nice. Catching Cesaro with that neck breaker. Bryan now dropping the boots across the chest of Rusev. Remember, all 6 of these guys have already wrestled here this evening. They're going to be tired. It's going to be a tricky match. As Bryan now lines up Rusev with that running single leg drop kick, and all of a sudden, do they have a chance of winning this one now? For some reason there wasn't a pin attempt there by Bryan on Rusev, maybe because there was just too many people still on their feet as Alistair Black dropping Seth Rollins face first across that turnbuckle pad, showing him he should not be showing off as much as he currently is. Nice neck breaker there by AJ Styles, taking control of Cesaro. As we very briefly broke into our 3 individual singles matches. There's a pin by Bryan, 1. Only a 1 count. Nice Yuri Garoshi there by AJ Styles on Rusev. Cesaro now taking Seth up to the top. Seth fighting back with a boot, and now into a... Well, he went for a jumping knee strike from the top rope, but Cesaro saw it coming and threw him away, and all of a sudden Team Europe in control of the match. Oh, and there's a commentator's curse. There's both Bryan and AJ Styles reversing, and now all of a sudden there's only 4 in the ring. Backbreaker there by AJ Styles on... That was interesting. Double knee drops. They're stereo knee drops. One by Cesaro, one by Styles, but they're in different battles at this point in time, of course. That's DDT there by Alistair Black. Cesaro with that delayed butterfly suplex. And Team Europe in control. Now there's that very European uppercut. Schoolboy attempt by Seth Rollins on Alistair Black. Nice right hand there by Seth. Now into the ripcord knee. And all of a sudden, Seth, again, it's Rusev who's taking a beating in this one, isn't it, really? And Rusev is down, but Cesaro going for the pin here on AJ Styles, in there for a 1 count. AJ rolls to the outside, leaving it 3-on-2 in the middle of the ring. Can Team Europe make it? Oh, it's 3-on-1 now in the middle of the ring. Can Team Europe make this, well, make it count, really? They need to hit Seth. Was a bit big. There's the Ace Crusher. Rolled back into the reverse Dragon Sleeper. And Seth able to break free. Rusev clubbing blow to the back. Now Rusev looking for the Alabama Slam. AJ rolls up. Cesaro almost getting a free count actually, but there's now all 6 men back in the ring. Hit attempt here by Alistair Black, broken up by Bryan. Black now taking Bryan up into a suplex. Rusev now rolls to the outside. It's 3-on-2 in the ring. Yuri Garoshi there by AJ Styles on Cesaro. There's the pin. But Alistair Black breaks it up before even a 1 count. The numbers game are just going to... Ooh. I think they're going to catch him out, but Alistair Black saw AJ Styles at a high risk. And all 3 of the Americans here having to try and take Alistair Black down, because Black's really being able to control this match as much as he wants, really. Nice Phoenix splash in the middle rope there by Seth. Seth now taking Cesaro up. Oh, Alistair Black went for the black mass on AJ Styles. AJ avoided it. Seth now taking Alistair Black down as Rusev takes down AJ Styles. AJ fighting back on the knee and the gut of Rusev. And Seth taking control of Alistair Black as well. AJ has Rusev up. This could be it. There's the Styles clash. Cesaro's down the outside. Black has just been taken out by Seth Rollins. And there we go. Team USA gets the win to make it 5-0 on the night. And wow. Europe have struggled big time here. And it's a final score of 5-0. Which means that at this point in time it's not looking good at all for Team Europe. It's all the way down to what happens in a few days' time between Team New Zealand and Team Scotland, of course. If that's a whitewash one way or another. It doesn't really help them out either way, does it really? If it's a whitewash one way or another, I think what Europe need now is they need Team USA to hammer both Scotland and great time celebration. They need Team USA to hammer both Team Scotland and Team New Zealand, and then for Team Europe to do the same thing. Really, that's the only way Europe have really got a big chance of pulling this one through. We'll have to see what happens. Of course, if it's one way or the other on this match in a few days' time between New Zealand and Scotland, then maybe they will confirm themselves. Will give themselves a massive advantage going forward to that match anyway. But it's going to be really interesting now in Group A to see exactly how this one works, because for me, I thought that Team Europe was going to be one of the strongest and a real dark horse for the entire competition, but it turns out they've been absolutely whitewashed on this first night, and Team USA get themselves 5 points. Now I probably will show, but try and remember when I'm editing this, to show a little graphic right about now with the current league table. Of course, it's a bit pointless reading it at the moment because literally it's Team USA on 5 points, the other 3 teams on 0 points. So until we get our other episode in a few days' time between New Zealand and Scotland, it's very difficult to show exactly what the league is going to look like properly. But yeah, it's been a pretty good start to the competition. I think we've had some 3 fantastic singles matches, a pretty good 6-man tag as well. If it wasn't for some dodgy glitch about parental guidance and God knows what, 2K threw us, which is a new one to me. I've seen it once before, but it wasn't a problem. But it'll be interesting to see exactly if that does continue to affect us, whether it's because I'm no longer connected to the internet at this point in time when I'm recording this. That could be one reason. There we go. Either way, that is the end of this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. Of course, if you have, then please do slap a like, and of course, hit that subscribe if you're not already, because we've got an entire competition coming for you. 4 groups of 4 teams, then a knockout competition with the top 2 from each group as well, including a 3rd place playoff as well. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon for our next episode of the SWE World Cup. The one, two,